So, what if the life you're living right now is just a dream? I know it sounds like something straight out of a movie, but it's actually at the very heart of this incredible thought experiment we're going to walk through today. It's a story called The Architecture of Awakening, and well, it might just make you question everything you think is real. Our story revolves around a man named Arav, and Arav is haunted by this recurring dream where he's falling. You know the one. Every single night, it's the same dream, the same stomach dropping terror. But then one morning, something clicks. He realizes that the fear he felt in the dream, it was identical to any fear he's ever felt while awake. It wasn't some cheap imitation, it was the real thing. And just like that, this one simple observation sends him spiraling down a rabbit hole. Because if the emotions are indistinguishable, if the sensations feel just as real, then what's the actual difference? This becomes the central, really unsettling question that starts to completely unravel his world.
Okay, so this is where Arav's dilemma gets really interesting. Think about it. When you're in a dream, it feels totally vivid and solid, right? The emotions you feel, whether it's joy or fear or anger, they are 100% genuine in that moment. And this is the crucial part. The dream has its own internal logic. Everything makes perfect sense, right up until you wake up. Now, when Arav compares this to his reality, he sees the exact same attributes. So, based on his own subjective experience, there's basically no functional difference.
And this all leads to this one pivotal moment. He's just standing there, looking at his own reflection in the mirror, and he finally says it out loud. He voices the one doubt that's been growing in his mind. It's not just a weird thought anymore. It's a real, genuine possibility that he now has to confront.
So, what would you do if you seriously suspected you were in a dream? You'd test it, right? Arav shifts from just questioning his reality to actively poking and prodding it. He starts searching for a flaw, a glitch in the matrix, anything that would prove it's all just an illusion. He goes for some of the classic methods. First, he pinches himself, hoping that the pain will snap him out of it or prove something. Then he tries holding his breath, to test the physical laws of his world. But most importantly, he starts looking for the seams, those little unnatural moments, weird pauses, or errors in the code that might just give the game away.
But here's the kicker. Nothing happens. He finds no glitches, no errors, nothing. Now, you'd think that would be a relief, right? Proof that he's awake. But for Arav, it proves the exact opposite. And this is the point. The absence of flaws doesn't prove it's real. It just proves that it's a perfectly constructed simulation, just like a really, really convincing dream. So, with all his tests coming up empty, Arav doesn't give up. Instead, he pivots. He starts to form this radical new hypothesis, not about proving this world is a dream, but about what it actually means to wake up. He starts with something we all know, a universal human experience, something that's true for every single one of us. Think about it. Waking up isn't really an end, it's a transition. Every single morning, when we wake up from a dream, we are literally transitioning from one perceived reality to another. And this line of thinking leads him to a terrifying but also strangely calm new theory. What if this life, this whole thing that feels so solid and important, is just another temporary state? And what if death isn't the end at all, but is actually the final, ultimate act of waking up into the real world? The story then takes this idea and runs with it, right, to its logical conclusion. That very same night, Arav dreams again. But this time, it's different. The entire paradigm is about to shift. Instead of falling, he finds himself as an observer at his own deathbed. He's looking down at his own body, hearing the sounds of people mourning. It's this completely surreal, out-of-body experience, all happening inside the dream. And then the whole scene just starts to dissolve into this gentle white light. And just like every other dream he has ever had, it ends. He wakes up, but this time, absolutely everything has changed. He opens his eyes and he's looking at an unfamiliar ceiling, breathing air that feels crisper, somehow lighter. And then he hears it, a soft voice that confirms the impossible. This wasn't just waking up from a nightmare. This was waking up from a life. And then a second voice chimes in, almost amused, and it confirms everything. The life he just left, the reality he spent so much time testing and questioning, yeah, that was the dream all along. And in that one moment, Arav's whole journey comes to a close.
The tears welling up in his eyes aren't from fear or loss. They're tears of this profound, overwhelming understanding. This is the moment of his true awakening.
And so that leaves us and you with one final, unavoidable question. If the reality that you're in right now feels completely real, if your senses and your emotions confirm it's real every single second of every day, how do you really know? What proof do you have that you aren't just in a very long, very convincing dream, just waiting to wake up?